There you go. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the January 5th San Diego Region Conformity Working Group, first meeting of 2022. We have a pretty good sized agenda today for items. Most of them are just updates on continuing items from prior agendas. But I want to jump into them and get through a first few steps and a little bit on housekeeping. We ask that if you'd like to join the conversation, to please chime in as you see fit. If you're not actively speaking, we ask that you mute your microphone. The meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be posted to the SANDAG website, just there for transparency, for the public to review and others to review as needed to look back at prior proceedings. So on our second slide, we have our SANDAG commitment to equity. Keep highlighting this one as we have committed to a social equity action plan as we work through how we are going to be working with our communities in our region, our staff, and working with data and interpreting the data for benefiting all residents and visitors to our region. On welcome and introductions, what I try and do to speed this up a little bit is I run through the list of attendees and panelists that I can see from my side and list off who's here and the agencies that they represent. I miss people often, so I then pause at the end to see if there's anybody else I missed that would like to announce themselves. So with that, I'll start with the SANDAG staff, myself, Sam Sanford from the Long Range Planning Division, joined by Elisa Arias and Phil Traum and America Aceves, also from the Integrated Transportation and Long Range Division, respectively. From the programming team from SANDAG, we have Sue Alpert and Richard Radcliffe. From San Diego Air Pollution Control District, we have Nick Cormier. From Caltrans headquarters, we have Jacqueline Cars. And then from Caltrans headquarters, Air Quality or Environmental Division, we have Erika Espinosa Araiza. From US EPA, we have John Kelly. From CARB, we have Nesamani Kalandiur. And trying to resize my screen to see everybody. From San Diego County, we have Roya and Razolide. I did not get that right, so Roya, please let me know. You can pronounce your last name correctly. Looking through at who I missed, it looks from SANDAG, we also have Tim Garrett. And if there's somebody else I missed, can you please speak up?
Good morning, Sam. This is Abhijit Bagde with Caltrans Programming. A very happy New Year to all.
Thank you, Abhijit. Happy New Year.
And Sam, this is Diane Vermeulen from Caltrans also. Thank you.
Morning, Diane.
Morning.
Hi, Sam. This is Lexi Ariana, also from Caltrans headquarters and Air Quality Branch.
Good morning, Lexi. I think there's a whole column of people that I missed. My apologies. And just joining us, I think I just saw Maurice Eaton from Caltrans District 11 joining us as well. And I believe that covers us for now. And America Aceves is helping monitor attendees as well. So if others jump on, she can step in to let me know that somebody else has joined, let the group know that others have joined as well. With that, we'll move on to item number 2, which is our meeting minutes. So the last time we met was back in November. So it's been a little bit of time since this group has had a meeting. And the minutes from the November meeting start on page 5 of today's agenda, continue on to page 6, and then the attendance list is on page 7. So there's always 2 parts of the minutes. Now this group does not do actions on the minutes. It's just a a request to review the minutes and see if there's any inaccuracies or any corrections to be made. And then we would obviously make those corrections to the minutes prior to posting them. Are there any comments, corrections, or suggestions on the minutes from the November 3rd meeting? I'll give you a minute to give it a quick scan. Okay, not hearing any. I'll move on to item number 3, which is any public comments, communications, or member comments. So first I'll pause and see if there's any members of the public that would like to address the San Diego Conformity Working Group with any announcements. How about communications or member comments? Okay, not hearing any. We'll move on to the reports. So for reports, we have the first item, item number 4, will be presented by Phil Traum on the San Diego Forward, the 2021 Regional Plan.
Thanks, Sam, and Happy New Year, everyone. Yeah, since your last meeting in November, we asked our board to adopt the 2021 regional plan, and we received approval on that. So since that time, we distributed the plan and the conformity determination. So germane to this group was the distribution of the plan to US DOT in consultation with US EPA for a conformity determination, as you see up on the agenda item there. Kind of relevant for that effort, there is an appendix of the plan, as you all I'm sure aware of, the appendix C for conformity. So nice how that lines up this time for documentation of that and all the work that this group has supported over the years. This plan is a culmination of 6 years worth of effort, in addition to 2 years worth of effort past the federal RTP that we adopted in 2019. So kind of both relevant here, but a lot of work that this committee put in to get that toward a board adoption. So we really appreciate that. The summation of the plan is that it's a 30-year planning document, obviously fulfilling all the air quality conformity years in between, and $163 billion worth of projects and programs and chock full of policies. Starting with the new year, now that we have an adopted plan, we'll move pretty swiftly into implementation. So Appendix B, as in boy, of the plan has a lot of both near-term actions that we consider that we'll accomplish over the next 4 years prior to the next plan adoption, in addition to continuing actions that will be ongoing agency efforts in support of the plan. So I think that's really all for me. I wanted to just, obviously make that announcement. It's a big thing for our agency and for our region. So really excited about it. And just, wanted to ask if there's any questions before we move forward. Oh, Nick, I see you have your hand raised. Maybe that, I don't know if that's for the plan, but.
Yeah, it is actually. I just first wanted to just, again, express my congratulations to Sandag on this big achievement. I know you guys have been working hard for 2+ years on this, in addition to the interim step that happened that kind of threw a curveball into everything. So I just wanted to extend my congratulations in getting that across the board. And we look forward to working with you guys in the future in the implementation part. I did have one question because it kind of came up. I know that there was kind of like a last minute, it's not a change necessarily, but there was like a request to go back and look at the one of the funding sources, the VMT funding source, and to kind of explore that over the next 6 months. Could you maybe provide a little bit detail about how you guys are planning to look into that, if it would kind of result in any future changes? Any context on that part would be good.
And I can jump in, Phil. Elisa Arias with the Integrated Transportation Planning Group. And yes, Nick, right after adoption, there was a discussion by the board about the funding strategies, particularly the road usage charge. That is one of the potential funding strategies in the plan. And the board asked us to basically evaluate other potential funding sources and return in 6 months. So that work will be basically like a holistic plan strategy evaluation will start to be conducted. So we have information to share with our board in December and see what direction we get at that point.
Okay, so it just sounds like it's kind of related to just the funding strategy. So it sounds like you're not anticipating it would necessarily change the conformity analysis that was just adopted. It's just more about, taking this funding out and then inserting a new funding in. Is that kind of what they asked you to do?
It could be that. It could be that where, we have to reevaluate how, if a road usage charge is not something we want to move forward with in the future. Something to remember is that the plan includes that funding source starting in 2030. So it's not anything that is, immediate. So we definitely have time to evaluate what funding sources might be needed to replenish that funding source that we assume in the plan. But then again, it wouldn't be, we're not assuming that funding source until 2030. So we have a little bit of time, to figure out how else to backfill. Could be part of the development of the 2025 regional plan. As you know, we finish one and I won't say immediately, but very quickly we start with developing the new plan. So it could be something that happens as part of the funding strategy for the 2025 plan.
Okay, great. That helps. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Any
thanks for
other
those
questions
questions.
or
Nick.
comments? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Sam. Yeah, I just want to thank Nick for the question.
Any other questions or comments on item number 4? All right, not hearing any. I did see that we were joined by Stephanie Parent from California Air Resources Board. Good morning, Stephanie. And also by Natalia Henschel from County of San Diego. So welcome to you both. Moving on to item number 5. So this is the 2023 Regional Transportation Improvement Program Adoption Schedule, or the 2023 RTIP for short. And for this, we'll turn it over to Richard Radcliffe to provide us an update. And Richard, I do have a slide with the image on the schedule that's included in the agenda, if you'd like me to show that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that'd be great, Sam. Okay, thanks, Sam. And so good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. I'm here today because it is time once again to update SANDAG's Regional Transportation Improvement Program, or RTIP. And we are planning to start this process later this month. The RTIP adoption schedule, as Sam has provided here on the screen, has also been included with today's agenda, but I just want to highlight some of the key dates that are relevant to this group. On February 2nd, that will be the initial consultation with CWG. And then on April 1st, we'll issue the draft 2023 RTIP project list to the CWG for interagency consultation. And then we'll discuss the draft project list at the CWG meeting scheduled for April 6th. And then interagency consultation will close on April 16th. On May 20th, we'll issue the draft conformity analysis for a 30-day review and comment period, and discuss the 23 conformity analysis at the June 1st CWG meeting. The 30-day CWG comment period for the 2023 draft conformity analysis will end on June 20th. And then on July 22nd, the SANDAG Board of Directors will release the draft 2023 RTIP along with the draft air quality analysis for a 30-day public comment period ending on August 22nd. The SANDAG board will then be asked to adopt the final 2023 RTIP and the air quality analysis on September 23rd. And the statewide public review process will start on September 30th. And then by December 16th, we expect that the 2023 RTIP will be federally approved. but feel free to get in touch with me or with Sue Alpert if you have any questions regarding our schedule. Thanks for giving me some of your time this morning. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Richard. Do you have any questions or comments on item number 5? Not hearing or seeing any. Thank you, Richard, for the presentation. And the calendar here is very helpful, especially with the green color coded for things that are conformity related, is very helpful to kind of walk through and keep track of items as this moves forward. So I appreciate that.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, moving on to item number 6, the 2020 Ozone State Implementation Plan update. This is the San Diego County section of the SIP. And for this, I want to turn it over to Nick Cormier and John Kelly and see if there's any updates on this. Nope, Nick, I think you're muted if you're.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you, Sam. Yeah, just again, Nick Cormier from San Diego APCD. I didn't have a lot to share today in relation to what's changed since the last update at our last meeting. Just for the folks who either weren't on the call before, you know, we did submit San Diego's regional ozone attainment plan, or what we're calling our 2020 ozone plan, to CARB last year, and it was submitted to EPA in turn in January of 2021. And now it's in EPA's court to take action on that plan. And I know John Kelly and their staff are now working on that. He can provide maybe some additional context for the proposed schedule for what they think that action might be. But we're looking forward to seeing that sometime this year. And the only other thing before I kind of toss it over to John that I wanted to highlight was we did recently get a letter from, or actually CARB sent a letter to EPA that would withdraw our previous 2016 attainment plan for the ozone standards, specifically for the 2008 ozone standard, as when we were a moderate non-attainment area. So for folks that are unaware, we had prepared a plan at that point to that said we would attain that particular standard by 2017. However, that did not happen. And so as a result, that plan was kind of left, it was never acted upon by EPA. And so it was more or less at a backlog of sorts. And so, you know, with the adoption of our new 2020 ozone plan, it superseded that 2016 plan, being that we are now a severe non-attainment area. So it kind of made that 2016 plan moot in a way. And so we requested to CARB earlier this year to go ahead and withdraw that plan for the purposes of including it in the SIP. We had to delay it a little bit in turn just because we wanted to get these new on-road motor vehicle emission budgets adopted. Found adequate. So we didn't kind of create an unintended consequences of having like a gap in time where there weren't any emission budgets. So once those budgets were found adequate, they were found adequate in October of 2021, that kind of gave us the go ahead and CARB the go ahead and officially request that 2016 that moderate attainment plan be withdrawn for the purposes of being in the SIP. So I sent the letter to Sam kind of late yesterday. You know, I'm not sure if it's worth forwarding to others. I can certainly forward it to people who are interested in seeing it. It's a pretty short and sweet letter. There's not much to it, but if anybody's interested, I can forward that along to them. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to John and answer any questions if there are any after John's update.
Okay, thanks, Nick. That's a great summary of everything. I'll just start with the moderate plan that you were referring to, and just explain to people one more aspect of it, which is that a moderate plan is kind of on a much lower echelon than a severe plan. The way the Clean Air Act works, as you go up in the classifications, the requirements get much more burdensome, or let's say aggressive, however you want to put it. But the timelines get longer, but in order to get that extra time to attain, like a severe area gets 15 years to attain, whereas a moderate area gets 6. But in order to get those extra years, you have to do a lot more heavy lifting locally. And that's why we agreed with CARB and the district that this should be something that could be withdrawn with no consequences, because we have in our hands basically a double severe plan. We've got a severe plan for both the 2008 standard and the 2015 standard, the 075 and the 070. So regarding this kind of double severe plan, I do agree with what Nick characterized as my schedule for this year. I'm hoping to, my plan is to be able to propose by say like late spring or early summer, I would hope, and then finalize this action in the fall, finalize an approval. I'm working on a proposed approval. I think everything looks fine in this plan, with a minor exception for contingency measures, which is just a problem for a lot of areas that has nothing, strictly speaking, nothing to do with San Diego per se. But otherwise, the plan looks like really good. And if all goes well, I would assume I would expect approval in the fall, and definitely by this calendar year. There was I think you were asking about SAFE, and I don't really follow this very closely, but I know there was a backing off of like a Trump administration action that basically gets a little bit more reduction. So it gives us, you might say, a little more breathing room in our planning work, because if there's less emissions, then it's easier to meet an attainment or are reasonable for the progress, and then later on the attainment deadlines. But the margin is so small, it's almost negligible. So we'll have to take a look, and as I go through the modeling with our modelers in the air division here, to see if it's even worth mentioning, in my proposal. But it's not bad news. It's good news, but kind of on the edge of something that might be worth noting. So with that, I'll open up to questions for either of us.
Thank you, John and Nick. Do we have any questions or comments from the group today? Not seeing anyone or seeing any hands raised or comments. Do want to say thanks to Nick and John and everybody that works behind the scenes on this, regarding the withdrawal of the prior San Diego SIP and the coordination and the timing. It all worked out. It seemed so seamlessly, but there was a lot of coordination and back and forth and verifying. So I appreciate everybody's hard work on that and patience. So.
And with that, I'm going to sign off. I've got to go to this other all hands now for our new regional administrator. So
all right. Thanks so much, John.
Thanks, John.
Bye-bye.
Okay. That wraps us up on item number 6. Now we'll move to item number 7, which is the MFAC 2021 updates on this. And I'll turn over to Nesamani Kandior from California Air Resources Board for any updates.
Hey, good morning, Sam, and good morning, everyone. Happy New Year to you all. Just have a quick update on the MFAC 2021, just continuing from the previous meeting. As you all know, we submitted the MFAC 2021 model for US EPA review. We had a few meetings with US EPA Region 9 staff discussing all the technical details and answering all the technical questions. So it's on progress. At least my understanding at this point is the MFAC 2021 would be approved sometime in March, April timeframe. That's what they're working on. However, we are still like maybe in the past conversations, I mentioned that we are working on with US EPA legal team to submit all the waiver requests for the regulations that has been included and adopted since MFAC 2017 model. Example, advanced clean trucks, zero emission airport shuttle, and other regulations as well. We submitted those waivers. However, one major one is omnibus regulation. That's still with OLA. It's almost done, I think. That's what I heard before holidays. They were almost about to approve that as well. So my understanding is our legal team is expected to submit that to US EPA sometime this month. Once that's done, hopefully US EPA able to go forward and work on the approval notice itself. So that's my expectation. And that's the update. I just want to let you all know. I'll be happy to provide more as we get closer and as we know more clear on timeline itself. So I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you, Mani. Do we have any questions for Mani on MFAC 2021? Just a quick one, Nasamani, and this might not be something that you can answer now. I guess this would actually be more further down the line as far as the implementation timeline. Once it is approved by US EPA, the timeline that would require updates for MPOs to start using the newer model for conformity. That has a time span, but I guess it gets determined later if that's going to be 1 year, 2 years, or something else.
Yeah, you're talking about the grace period, Sam. So that'll be determined as part of the US EPA will determine that as part of the MFAC approval notice itself. So generally they go anywhere between 3 to 24 months. As when we submitted the model itself, requested US EPA's approval, we requested 24-month grace period. Again, this will be a process. I think my understanding is US EPA is talking to FHWA and other stakeholders as well to see what is the optimal grace period for the MFAC 2021 model itself. So at this point, I don't know the exact grace period, what they will provide, but I'm expecting as soon as when the US EPA releases the approval notice, we will know the grace period, exact grace period, how long you can use, during the grace period, you can choose either MFAC 2021 or MFAC 2017, whatever works for you until that point. So that's what my response to you at this point.
Thank you. That's helpful. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mani.
Thank you.
Move on to the last item. Item number 8 on today's agenda is another information item. This one is regarding SAFE, and it's kind of an update since in the last few weeks, both the US DOT through NHTSA and US EPA have produced final rules related to the SAFE rule, part 1, I should say. So for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration under the Department of Transportation, they released a rule on December 21st, 2021, essentially repealing their section of SAFE Rule Part 1. And that now has an effective date on the screen here. It was 30 days after publication. Publication happened in December. So the effective date is actually January 28th, 2022. And so that is the repeal of the NHTSA piece. And then on December 30th, US EPA produced a final rule and for theirs, they are revising the GHG standards under the Clean Air Act, and their final rule will become effective February 28th. So both administrations got their sections done in 2021. And as far as how this relates to conformity and work going forward, and this is what I want to have a little discussion on, see if others concur, have similar understandings regarding NHTSA's determination, repealing it effective January 28th, 2022. My understanding is that conformity after that date will no longer require the safe rule adjustment factors, is my understanding. And then for the US EPA, since they are changing, they actually have more stringent GHG standards going forward, especially in later year models, cars, that will be a different adjustment factor that will have to be developed, but it would be beneficial for much of our work. So I see Nesamani came on, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I don't have a clear answer for you, Sam, but I think what the dates that you mentioned when the rules came out and everything, we need to internally, I need to talk to the MFAC team and all, like exactly what it means in terms of, as you mentioned the adjustment factor, right? In the past, we released the adjustment factor, the previous administration when they released the rule. But now we need to know what it means really in terms of the ZEV provisions and all, whether that rule provides the authority for California or not, and all those things, because that's where that adjustment itself came in a little bit of the ZEV vehicles and all. So I don't have a clear answer for you, but I'll surely, we are talking internally with our legal team as well as the MFAC team, what it means, and I'll be happy to report back to you a little more clear next meeting, and have a little more conversation if needed. What that adjustment factor, whether we are removing the adjustment factor, or right now the MFAC 2021 model includes that adjustment because that's the law when the MFAC 2021 was developed and submitted to US EPA. But that's, if need to remove, then we will be revising the model itself for that purpose as well. Those are all the future conversation. That's all I'm trying to tell you here. That is more conversation has to happen in the near future once we understand the real effect of the rule itself. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I realize these are very much hot off the press right in the holiday season. You know,
exactly.
Having this published December 30th. I don't think many people have had a chance to read the full rule and all the pieces of it and digest it and understand all the implications that it may have. But it is some movement and in a direction. It's nice to have some direction on this. So we'll keep this on the agenda for future CWG meetings for the San Diego region. And as far as SANDAG is concerned, we do not anticipate having any, conformity analysis finalized between now and that January 28th, 2022 date. So this still works out fine for us. It's not pressing in that regards. But yeah, I know it will take some time to get review, interpretation, legal review as well. But it was nice. We've had this one on the agenda for a long time and we haven't had many updates. So it's good to have something now. But I do want to see if there's any other comments or questions on item number 8.
Hey, Sam, and maybe just a question for the group. I mean, has anybody heard of reconsideration of Safe Rule Part 2? I haven't really been following that or heard anything about that, but I don't know if anybody else has.
I have not heard anything on that one.
Okay, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something, but I know Part 1 was kind of the priority, but wonder if that's coming down the line too. So I guess we'll see.
It's a good question. Yeah. If anybody does find anything, please feel free to share it with this group. We'd love to keep abreast of these information as it comes out. And we know when it's finally in the register, that's pretty well resolved when it makes it there. If we get insights prior to that, it's very helpful. All right, well, no other questions or comments on item number 8. The next meeting of the San Diego Conformity Working Group is scheduled for February 2nd, 2022 at same time, same place. And as a reminder, that will be the initial conformity discussions for the 2023 RTIP, as Richard discussed under one of the prior items. And we'll also have an update to the extent that we can on the Safe Rule Part 1 understandings at that point. And Elisa, see your hand up.
Yes, so I just wanted to take the opportunity to say my farewells to this team. I am going to be retiring soon from SANDAG, and I just want to let you know you are a group that I really enjoy working with over the years, with our state partners, Air Resources Board, Caltrans, both at the district level and headquarters, our federal agencies, Federal Highway Administration, FTA, EPA. So it's been a pleasure working with you. I will be available for a few weeks still related to items for regional plan conformity. So if there are any questions from any of the reviewing agencies, I will be available. I'll leave you in excellent hands with Sam Sanford, Phil Trom, the programming team. So it's been a pleasure, and continue the good work. I think, this team is an interesting way of looking both at technology and our transportation planning, and really getting to cleaner air and better public health. So it's an incredible work that gets done, even though it's a kind of an obscure team that not everybody really pays a lot of attention to. I think we've been doing quite a bit of good work over the years. So thank you so much for supporting Sunday.
And I want to say a heartfelt thank you, Elisa. And it's been an honor working with you for the past few years, learning as much as I can. I know if I had another 10 years working under you, I still would have a lot more to try and grasp and understand. But I wish you the best in your retirement. It's been a lot of fun, really, learning as I go through this. And I'll still have your contact information when things really come up and I'm grasping at straws.
Thank you.
Sam, Maurice Eaton had his hand raised.
Hi, Maurice.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to offer a personal thank you to Elisa and congratulate her on basically a stellar career at Sandag. Elisa, many of you know her, in this venue for, the Conformity Working Group. But what some of you may not know is that Elisa basically covers the span of regional planning for Sandag, and has a lot of work, as she mentioned, with both Caltrans locally at District 11 and also with headquarters. So Elisa, just from the district and also from me personally, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the work, all the partnership, the genuine effort to work together is something that we will always remember. So thank you, Elisa. All the best in your retirement.
Thank you so much, Maurice. Appreciate it very much.
And also Samani also had his hand raised.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, congrats, Elisa. I know we worked so much, especially in the SB 375 world. I know you were pretty much, I came to know more about you more in the SB 375 world, working closely, and thanks for all your partnership and always sharing and bringing us up-to-date information and talking to us various aspects of your plan itself. So also always you supported us whenever we came to conduct a workshop in San Diego region. You always helped us to coordinate and conduct the workshop itself. I really appreciate all those things. I'm sure it's a new chapter in your life. Best wishes for all of those things. I hope you will travel around. And if you're surely visiting Sacramento, always give us a call. We'll be happy to meet and chat with you and catch up with you as well. Again, congrats and best of luck for your retirement plan. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amani. Pleasure working with you also.
Thanks.
Nick,
Yes, yes, thank you. And I'll board the congratulations train and want to express my thanks and gratitude to Elisa. I came in knowing nothing about air quality planning and transportation conformity 6 or 7 years ago. And, you know, through Elisa's help and previously Rachel Kennedy, who was involved in this group too. But, you know, I did just want to express my gratitude for you all in bearing with me and trying to learn this topic, and and you've been a wonderful partner with Air Pollution Control District. I know even before me, when you were working with Rob Ryder quite a bit, and Carl Selnick, who was my predecessor. So always had great words, kind words to say about you, and I know that you know, you'll be missed here in this group, but I know you're leaving it in good hands with Sam and the rest of the crew. And I did just want to highlight too, like Maurice, you know, you're involved in a lot, and so, you know, just want to commend your efforts too in the local AB 617, you know, community steering committee group. For those who are unaware, you know, that's a large effort that the region is kind of undertaking to improve air quality down in the Portside region near the Working waterfront. And Elisa was intimately involved in those meetings on an ongoing basis, you know, nightly meetings that went late sometimes. And I just wanted to express my thanks for that as well. So congratulations. And, you know, hopefully you're not a stranger and aren't moving too far away from San Diego, so we can maybe get you a lunch or something when things improve on the health front, so to speak. So congratulations.
Thank you, Nick. And it's always a pleasure working with the district and with you.
Thank you, everyone. And I did have one other slide on questions, but I think we've covered them all. If there's any other last pressing member questions? All right, well, I want to thank everyone for their time and attendance, especially Elisa in her last CWG meeting. I wish we had a tally of how many you attended over the years. This would be quite the slide to have that on there. I'm guessing in the 60s or somewhere in the number of CWG meetings.
Or longer, or more than that, yeah.
Well, thanks everyone, and look forward to see you in February.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Well.
Thanks, Sam.